I love the beach, right? But I live in the Midwest. So I need to be by the beach. And it's because I love the beach.
Are you Prozac and is the beach big pharma? I have never met someone who quite likes the beach as much as you do, baby girl. That voicemail also sounded like maybe you had taken a little hit of... What would I know, though? It's Sofia Franklyn. You are listening to Sofia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal. This is Sofia with an F, and I'm your host, Sofia Franklyn, and I have a real treat for you guys today. Normally, I feel like the last two episodes I put out, I was in a bit of a spiral and could barely record. That's not a joke. But this is Sofia 3.0, and she is fresh. She is not worried about anything, anyone, only herself. Not in a narcissistic way, in a give me back my power way. And I also took Monday and Tuesday off this week without even meaning to, without planning to. And I'm not unprofessional or flaky. I'm very flaky if we have any plans that happen to be not in the work realm. But in the work realm, I'm pretty efficient. Something came over me, and Monday morning, I decided to text Soph and basically tell her that I was out for the count, and I would let her know when I'm coming back. Like, take me out of the game, coach. And I'm not even on the bench. I literally got in my Honda Civic and I drove home, and I will let you know when I would like to come back out onto the field. And I think it was really good. I would like to have those kinds of breaks planned and done with intention, so then I can really reap the benefits and it's something I can look forward to, and not something that then puts Soph in a state of what the is wrong with her. A, B, yeah, let me go ahead and just move / cancel every meeting and everything that we had planned. But she's just that good. And it was really a test to see how good she is. And guys, she passed with flying colors. So yeah, Monday, Tuesday, didn't really make it to work. And I do work from home. And that's a literal statement, because I did not make it out of my bed. There was at no point during that 48-hour period that I came outside and sat on this couch, which is kind of alarming if you think about it. But I obviously needed some serious R&R, and I got it. Next time it's going to be on the calendar. We'll be able to, prep and schedule around it. But until that day in 2027, I'm going to jump into the episode, but I think I would be doing myself and you guys a serious disservice if I didn't give you an update on my Great Gatsby party, aka the Roaring 20s, which I spent months and months and months shopping for. I ordered $1,000 worth of to try on perfect. I, at one point, had the Audrey Hepburn black long gloves that end up looking like a mime or a really weird robber. And then I had these cream pearl satin long gloves, which I think is what we ultimately decided against, because somehow, some way, they were worse than the black ones. And it was Mickey Mouse Club, but make it pedophile-esque, but also Michael Jackson. It was just, the white glove was not it. I'm telling you, the Roaring 20s, love the party aspect, hate the clothing. The clothing, you would have to be Angelina Jolie level to just make that shit work, And I had pretty modern take on it. And even then I was like, if I didn't have this furry boa that was shedding like a snake sheds its skin, but every 5 minutes, guys, I left the Mandarin. Is it the Mandarin Oriental in Lake Como? Not Four Seasons. I think so. I left the Mandarin and it looked like someone had been tarred and feathered. Like it looked like someone had actually had their feathers plucked and a bomb went off. And that's why I had to return it to Amazon. It was because of the quality. Sometimes I'm like, should I just be out here returning shit this way to Amazon? I don't normally do it, but come on, for a costume party based in the 1920s, we're going to have to return our shit, okay? That wasn't even the update. This is how silly and funny and giddy I am. I didn't make it to the party. I've had it on the calendar longer than I think anything else on my calendar because I do not make plans in advance. Again, hours and hours and hours trying to find the perfect costume, figuring out logistics, planned my entire trip to Europe based on going to this one party in the English countryside. And your girl didn't go to the party. So I just want to let that sink in right there. The reasons were valid. The reasons I will tell you one day when you guys are older, but I can say this. There were some fundamental things at play that needed to be worked out / given some coddling and time and attention and Q&A. And it would have just been kind of crazy to not do that and instead party like it's the 1920s till the cats crow, whatever the saying is, drinking champagne, bowls of cigarettes. It wouldn't have made sense. You know what? The past is the past and we move forward and we move up and we move down similarly to my blinds because I just spent the past 2 to 3 hours figuring out how to get my blackout shades to work. They did not work last night. I wore a sleeping mask. I don't know what it is about wearing a sleeping mask. Why does that not stay on the face? Is it just me? Because I will tighten it to where it actually looks like I'm about to rob a gas station. Like it looks like I have pantyhose over my head. Like that is how tight I will put it. And for some reason, it just doesn't stay on. But I woke up at the crack of dawn and I was like, okay, it's the wildebeest, it's the Lion King stampede upstairs, which my psychiatrist went on an incredible safari vacation, by the way, in Tanzania. We spent the majority of our session kind of going through the ups and downs of what that travel looked like. Sounds great. I'm going to run it by my travel agent. Like it wasn't enough last time when I was complaining about my insomnia and my psychiatrist asked me if I had been to see a hypnotherapist yet. And that was his recommendation. Not a bad recommendation, but I think, maybe you could add that in at the end as just like a supplement. Prescribe me drugs, doc. All right? Where was I? Oh, the blinds. I really want to reference Luann de Lesseps when Alex is running down the stairs and Luann just looks around and says, "What is that, wild buffalo?" I think it's also the same scene where she tells Alex, "In your Herman Munster shoes." And then Alex goes, They're Louis Vuitton. And you know she said it with the accent too. Fucking Francois and Felipe, whatever their names are, I don't even know. Johan and Francois. Is that okay? Those are her two kids' names. By the way, her and her husband, not French, not even European. Actually, he might be British or Australian, and I should know better because my biological dad is from New Zealand as of my birth certificate right now as it stands. Shout out Glamour Blinds. I mean, my ceilings are just so high. What are my 13 feet high ceilings? Kind of a big deal. If anyone was wondering, we figured it out, but it was a lot of trial and error. And with that, you guys, I have been loving, and it's given me this new found obsession and passion to the show and to you guys when I get to talk directly to y'all. And you guys are in for a little 1-800-Sloots episode. We're not doing in Kansas anymore because we are in New York City, big city, bright lights. And I have an actual telephone that I am listening to these voicemails on, okay? And this is an antique phone, but what do you call this? You guys know the phone and you have to use the roundy dial thing that's on the face of it, and you have to go all the way around just to put in one number. My friend, I remember in Utah, her mom still was rocking one of these. Rotary phone. Yeah, this is a rotary phone, and it's a real one that I got in Argentina. Okay? So, flex. 2 episodes ago, I would have said, don't listen to anything I say. My advice is shitty and I don't know what I'm talking about. Sofia 3.0, the Sofia you're listening to today, I will put money, lives, sweat, blood, toil, and tears, as Winston Churchill would say, on my advice being 100% accurate 100% of the time. So with that, Sloots, let's get into question number 1.
Hi, Sophia. So I'm a personal assistant, and I also have a crush on my boss, but he's married, but that's besides the point. I texted him, thanks for the head. I texted my boss, thanks for the head. For context, it was supposed to say thanks for the heads up, but the apostrophe is next to the enter key on my keyboard, so I pressed enter and it just sent, and I wasn't able to delete it or edit it, so I sent my boss, thanks for the head. I had to immediately respond back and be like, oh my God, that sent too soon. I'm so sorry, but I fear I will never recover. How do I move on for this in our next meeting, or do I just let it linger, or do I use this as an opportunity? Thank you, Sophia. I love you. Bye.
Classic case of the you meant to say thanks for the heads up, but instead texted your boss thanks for the head. I'm just going to say this, girly pop. Rule number 1, it's a typo. Mistakes happen, life happens. Why is this like a Gen Z thing? Do you guys know that back in the day, as in a few months ago, there was no edit feature. You could not go back to your text and select edit and fix it. Whatever you sent was whatever you sent. And so what you would do, and I feel silly explaining this, but I guess I need to, you write the correct thing and what you meant to say, put 2 asterisks next to it, and send it along and go about your merry way. Girl, I love you and we're going to salvage this because duh. But also, I don't think there was a worse plan of action than to immediately follow up the thanks for the head with, I am so sorry. I don't know. It was a typo. My finger slipped. Oh my God. It's a late night. I can't see. I have cataracts. Holy shit. That that's not what I meant to say. That is basically being like, hi, hello, I want to fuck you. And it's all I think about all day long. Like you basically, I mean, you could have just, you could have literally left it at thanks for the head and pretended you never saw it. Always the default mode is to zip it, don't act. And I mean that actually in every scenario, unless it's for real life threatening and it's like a bear. And even then, default, should you run from a bear? No. You're supposed to play dead. And I know that. I grew up in Utah, okay? And there are bears, I think, around. There's a lot of outdoorsy people who have told me to behave this way if a bear approaches. / my mom's friend in college did get attacked by a bear. But they survived. But they played dead, and they said if they didn't, it would have been really scary. Not that it wasn't scary. I'm sure it was very scary getting attacked by a bear. You guys know what I mean. Everything is okay, though. You asked me what you should do and if you should use this as an opportunity. And what I think you mean is, should you use it as an opportunity to like open up the flirtatious kind of maybe sexual, maybe could this be more than office romance? Babe, no. Like straight up, no. Unless he responds and he says something like overtly sexual or makes it very clear that he's super into it, which he can't even do now, actually, because you overcorrected so fucking hard that if he were to do that now, it would be like, bro, how clearly does she need to state her boundaries? That's not what she meant to say. But I think opportunities could open in the future. You know what this does give you opportunity to do is to not be so high-strung, scared, and trying to be picture perfect with him. And this is actually really fucking funny. Like, this is very, very funny, and you should just make a joke about it if you see him. In a casual, calm way. Not in the, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that is not what I meant to say, like diary of the mouth way. Like, don't walk into the office and be like, I cannot believe that I sent that. Can we please put the picture up on the big screen? What the fuck? I'm gonna like internally combust. No need. Just in casual convo, it's like not that crazy. Also, not everyone has their head in the gutter, and I think that would go over half of the older men that I know. It would go over their heads. 100%. I think it would go over my boyfriend's head, and that's like not even a joke. And now I want to test it. Although he is asleep because it's 6 hours. And what am I just going to say? Thanks for the head. And then he's going to be like, who was that for? And then he's going to think I'm cheating. But then that's way too obvious if you're trying to pretend you're cheating. I think my work here is done. Next question. Hot days, humid nights, and nonstop plans, all of that heat can increase hair shedding, while a jam-packed schedule can add stress, which then can impact your hair. And it's like, it's already hard to manage your hair in the summer period. But I've been taking Nutrafol, their women's formula, for the past, I think, 4, 5, 6 months roughly. And I've honestly been blown away at how much it's helped. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. Anything truly worthwhile takes time and effort. And with Nutrafol, see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. This summer, stop worrying about your hair and start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Sofia. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Sofia. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Sofia. This summer, take scent on the road with Pura Car Pro. It's the smart, stylish car diffuser that lets you control premium fragrance from your phone. From commutes to weekend getaways, elevate every drive. And for a limited time, get 20% off Pura Car Pro and all car scents with code CAR20. Head to Pura.com to claim the deal before it's gone.
Hi, Sofia. I need some advice on something. So my boyfriend lost his job, and I did everything I could to help him get his shit together, and he's just gambling and recording music and just thinking all these crazy things to fucking make it. And he's doing everything but work, and then he's treating me like shit in between all of it. And he'll stay at my place, and he used to live with me, and he moved out because he couldn't pay rent. This is I swear to God, love of my life. I sound so crazy right now. I swear to God, I thought this was the one. And now I'm really tripped up, and I don't know what the fuck to do. And I was like, who better to call than my girl, Sofia?
You guys, I just went off on a tangent because I asked Soph for a notebook, and I just went off about how I'm doing some real shit when I'm using a pen and a notebook and jotting down notes. And it's really funny because the irony is I wasn't even holding the microphone. But I know you guys like the back of my hand, and let me tell you this, girl. You should break up with him. Why? Because it sounds like you've already given him a few chances, gave him an ultimatum. He had to move out of your apartment because he wasn't helping pay rent. And I understand going through a job loss. I've been there. It wasn't so much a loss as it was kind of a drop kick boom out of the fucking field. But it was a very swift, overnight, crazy situation. And it's destabilizing, demoralizing, and traumatic. But let me tell you, the last fucking thing I wanted to do was to pick myself up from my bootstraps and be chugging along. But that's what I did. It's okay that he hasn't found a job. The economy is terrifying, almost as terrifying as this weather. It literally looks like there's going to be a monsoon, not a tsunami in New York City. Tsunamis are no longer in my top paranoia categories. No, they're not. They're definitely not. But he should be actively trying to find a job. And it's a little bit worrisome if you've given it a few months, if he's not even putting in the effort to look for a job. And also on top of that is, who is funding his gambling? I understand. I don't understand because I know gambling can be an addiction. I've never understood when people, if you want to gamble 1/50th of your earnings, go crazy. Fuck it. 1/5. That's actually really bad and horrible. But if that's what you want to do it. Why do I feel as if people that don't have money are the ones that are kind of caught up in the gambling game. And then I was like, Sofia, are you fucking slow, babe? They probably lose their money gambling. This guy sounds like bad news. And I'm all about playing devil's advocate and giving people second, third, fourth chances. You've given him chances. And I'm pretty sure you said he like kind of talks shit, which, hi, if you get fired, you are not allowed to say one negative thing to me, and you have to eat me out for all the hours that you have available that day, not gambling. Okay? Like, no, he's done. Loser, bye. We're on to the next, and on to the next voicemail. Summer is when the need to look and feel good is paramount. It's hot, so you're wearing less makeup, probably less clothes. You're traveling, which means there is a photo op every 30 seconds. And let's be real, summer kills routine. It is very, very difficult to stay regimented in the summertime. That's why I keep, and I am not joking, my Symbiotica in my purse at all times. I don't care if I'm at the club, the beach, at home. Taking Symbiotica's supplements is one of the easiest ways I have found to stay consistent with my health goals, even during a busy summer. I take a lot of their supplements, but the ones top of mind, they're magnesium L-threonate daily. It's seriously helped with my stress. Anytime I feel bloated, I take their liposomal glutathione, their vitamin C. The point is they taste great. They don't come in a pill form, so you can take it with you and take it down the hatch, no problem. Go to symbiotica.com/Sofia today to get 20% off plus free shipping. That's symbiotika.com/Sofia to get 20% off plus free shipping.
Hello, this is Peter from Essex, and I was on series 2 of The Only Way is Essex as an extra. I was wondering, what is your favorite type of tea when having a tea party, as it were?
Fake British accent. And you know what? I'm going to give you a fake response because you are obviously a fake British man. Probably still British. I don't know what show you're talking about. One Way, whatever. I did catch you saying something Essex. And the reason I know what Essex is about is because one time I interviewed this like really, really hot, really endearing, really smart, really funny, really kind of picture perfect guy named Joey Essex. Shout out. And I love him. Essex is a place in London, a town, a jurisdiction. I've heard it referred to as similar to New Jersey, like as whatever New Jersey is to New York, which could have negative connotations or it could have positive, okay? If you are British listening, you let me know. Or maybe I'll just ask Joey. Should I call Joey Essex? Me, once again, not respecting the time difference. My boyfriend has tried to teach me. Okay, British man, he's wanting to know my favorite tea for a tea party. That's a little bit too raw because it's a little bit like, how does he know I didn't make it to the Great Gatsby party in the English countryside? And why is he trying to rub it in? You know what? I feel like someone from the party was put up to this and they were told to call in to make me feel bad. And by the way, it worked. And my favorite tea is chai tea. No question. Although Soph did make like this English breakfast tea thing, or was it a London fog? But also, what is a London fog? And it was really good. Yeah. Bye, British boy. All right, next question.
Hi, Sophia. I'm a huge fan. Okay, so my question is just kind of about my life in general, but I'm going to try to keep it brief. Okay, so literally, I love the beach, right? But I live in the Midwest. And I just got my passport. I just graduated from college. I'm about to get my yoga teacher certificate. I mean, I got an associate's degree, but I feel like that counts still, right? Anyway, I'm thinking, why can I not save up my money and go live on the beach then? If I really want to have my own apartment by the beach, why is it so hard for me to fucking budget that? Is it because I just spent all my money on fucking partying and door dashing? I don't know. But I really want to figure out how to move to a place that I want to live. And I'm so inspired by how you like went back, got your shit together in Utah, and then like went back to New York City. I'm like, that's so fucking lit. Like, I want to go a place where I feel awesome, and that means the beach. Like, I just know I need to be by the beach. And it's because I love the beach. Like, I could be so happy just going to the beach every day, literally skateboarding around, smoking weed. Like, I'm a very chill, nice girl. I do yoga. Like, I'm vegan. I love the beach. I don't deserve to be in cow towns.
I fucking love you guys. Genuinely, that was the most fulfilling, hilarious, amazing thing I've ever heard. Baywatch. Babe, I have never heard it. Like, are you Prozac and is the beach big pharma? Except the other way around, because I thought I loved the beach. I always have. My mom and I are obsessed, and I recently learned that like this guy I'm kind of sort of dating like doesn't like the beach, which was a very jarring and alarming, and I don't know, we're gonna have to figure something out because I love it. I have never met someone who quite likes the beach as much as you do, baby girl. I think you said the word beach at least 8 or 9 times in a 1-minute voicemail. But it's a valid question because you very, very clearly, you're not wondering like, where should I pick up and go? What's the vibe that I'm looking for? Like, you very clearly know you want a fucking beach. And there's only so many places in the US of A where a beach is the kind of beach you're looking for. And I can tell you, New York and, we don't call them the Hamptons anymore. We just say going out east. I read that as like a headline. There's nowhere around these parts that's going to have a beach that you like. So you have California, which is still probably not even the beach that you like. If you like to get in the water, and I'm assuming you like to with how obsessed you are, Florida. And Florida, let me tell you, for better or for worse, has a coastline with a lot of access to a lot of different beaches. And the life that you are saying you want is, babe, you are not like most girls out here, which you are going to use to your fucking advantage. You are not asking to live in a skyscraper, have 10 Birkin bags, and, you know, have a doggy groomer come to your penthouse every single day. No. On the contrary, you're saying you just want a beach that you can skate around. And I think you said smoke weed. I might be putting words in your mouth, but I'm pretty positive that voicemail also sounded like maybe you had taken a little hit of the ganj. What would I know, though? And that is kind of the easiest lifestyle to achieve because you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say San Diego or Venice Beach are cheap because actually they're alarming and I'm pretty sure pretty close to New York City prices. However, you don't even need to live by the beach. You're going to work on the beach and you're 9 to 5. You're going to be a Coast Guard. You're going to be a lifeguard. Are you joking? And you're going to be tan and sexy. And do I need to remind you, Pamela Anderson? Pamela Anderson in Baywatch is your future if you so wish to choose and you take it. But for my adult, serious, logistical answer, yes, it was very commendable and actually looking back, quite an achievement that I just got up and left Salt Lake City, Utah. Not too many people bow out of there and went straight to New York City, which, I've heard there's some like cultural differences and just some landscape differences, just big differences between Utah and New York. And I live to tell the tale, and I'm here, I don't even know how many years later. Let me get one thing straight, though. I did not leave under the terms of courageous biatch. Let me go make this baller move. I actually left under the terms of my ex-boyfriend is a piece of shit. Ooh, I was about to go real crazy. My boyfriend is the worst. We got in the worst fight we've ever been in. I know the relationship is so toxic and bad for me. Also, the way I'm living my life in this relationship, but outside of him too, is so toxic and so bad. I'm clinically depressed. I've never been more sad. And my mom saying, oh, you know what I would rather bet on than Sofia staying here and continuing down this path with this guy? I would rather this crazy fucking hoe go try to make it in the big, scary city that is New York. And my mom is not, when it comes to me and her parenting style, shockingly, she's actually pretty fucking strict and conservative, or at least she used to be. That was like the scariest thing ever. The reason I bring that up is she loaned me like, I think it was $20K to come out here and make it happen. I did move in with my aunt, who is kind of like my second mom, actually, to help with the transition. I think if anything, that could have made me move back to Utah faster. Like, I don't think, in a lot of ways, I think it was very helpful. In a lot of ways, I think it was like, why are you making me store my 2 suitcases in the storage garage, Manhattan mini storage across the street? Like, I get New York City apartments are cramped, but like, y'all, I had to go down the elevator, walk across the street, go into my storage unit where there is like no electricity and get ready in there. And like try to figure out like, oh my God, what jeans am I holding up out of my suitcase? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's hit up Marquee. Love it. I just got ready by candlelight. Let's fucking go. That was helpful having her. Also, she was here maybe 10% of that. But it was nice to be at her place for the 2 months before she started stealing my clothes and taking over my life and expecting really crazy shit. And then I moved into the first, this ungrateful little biatch. I'm super grateful. I love her to death. There's a reason I moved into the studio apartment that I did with just a mattress on the floor and was chill with it. Okay? From one escape to another escape to, finally that became home. Actually, the studio never became home. That was always terrifying. It was the apartment after that. Anyways, it's not like I had all my shit together. You're not going to have your shit together and then decide to move. If you're not super dependent and ingrained in your job right now and you can up and leave and you have the option, do it now. Do it now while there's nothing holding you back. Beach girl. All right, next.
Hey girl, I'm calling with a little update. So you answered my question that I wrote in about 6 months ago, I'd say, you and Alex, and I was so happy to hear you guys put my question on the podcast. It was about my fiance DMing his friends on Instagram, pictures of other girls, talking about how hot they are and how, like, I am flat-chested naturally, and he would say, it's been so long since I've seen big tits, all this stuff. Anyways, your guys' advice was to bring it up to him because he's my fiance. Well, here's an update. I didn't listen to your advice, and I kept it to myself. And a few months later, he up and left me. Couldn't figure out why. He convinced me that I was a narcissist and that I was crazy, and I honestly thought I was. So I was like, damn, I don't remember being crazy. So, up and left me. A few months later, I found out that he actually left me for another girl because he was with her 2 days later. And then when things fell through with them, he tried to come back to me 2 days later. So he did end up leaving me for somebody else. But the good news is, good riddance, piece of shit. I should have saw that red flag of the way that he was speaking about women in his DMs to his friends. It was nasty. And another perk is I got a boob job. So all the money that I had saved for our wedding, I bought tits with. So now I have big tits that he's never going to get to see it. He still texts me trying to get me back, but fuck him. So anyways, thanks for answering my question. I absolutely loved hearing it on the podcast, and I love you so much. Bye.
Mic drop. Revenge boob job. Like, holy shit, girl. I don't think he could be in a worse off position except in a month or two from now when you're with your new man who loves you for you. Pre-boobs, post-boobs, during boobs, no boobs, can't see the boobs, do you have boobs? Until he sees that will just take this up like one other notch, but he wants to die. And the reason I know that is because he obviously is that superficial. How old are you to be DMing your friends like, look at this girl's massive rack? Did you just figure out Playboy that you found like underneath your parents' bed? That is so gross. I mean, actually, it's not even gross. It's more just like embarrassing. Like when you're with the guys during a guys' night, bring up how you like huge tits. Why are you having to like DM it? A. B. He made you feel insecure and bad. I love how you said flat-chested naturally. You're like, I'm flat-chested just naturally. Same girl. Well, with the spironolactone, it kind of goes between flat-chested and then like a C cup, but normally just flat-chested. He just sounds like he's superficial as fuck. Also, boobs aside, he was with a new... Do people just get engaged and treat it like what? Because in my brain, if I say yes and I'm engaged to someone, we're basically married in my head. Like I'm getting the attorney on the prenup, the marriage is happening, and I don't know, from being where I'm at right now to like engaged level, like I don't even feel like I need to be that committed. I kind of feel like I'm still on the market. Unless I get a big diamond ring. I'm joking. But I don't know. Something about exchanging a ring and saying yes and a guy getting on one knee or a girl getting on one knee really screams commitment. So that's kind of crazy that he was just with another girl 2 days later. Also, he is a piece of shit. Also, I want you to like fake pretend that you are gonna have phone sex with him and just be like, you know what, I wouldn't be doing this. And like, it's not even that I want to get back together, but I just don't want to hook up with anyone new. Let's do this. And then like right as he's about to see your areola, just like pull your shirt up, take a screenshot of him with his dick in his hands and be like, you should get a pair of tits. Here's my surgeon's phone number. He does a great job, babe. Okay, that was really good. And I really liked that answer that I just gave. Fuck him. I'm sure your tits look amazing. I already know they do. Send me a picture. Am I allowed to solicit that kind of thing? We're girls. What if I want to get my boobs done? Okay, next caller.
Hey, Slu. I just wanted to share an embarrassing story that was featured on another podcast. So this was when I studied abroad, my second night out, and I met my best friend for life this night, and she literally doesn't remember meeting me because she was so drunk. But anyways, that's just the level of out of hand we were. I was dancing with a man, and I had to puke. So my genius revelation was to take his margarita out of his hand, run into a corner of the club, throw up in it, and then hide the margarita. Love you.
Babe. Genius. Do you know how many times I've had to vomit and there was no way in hell I was going to make it to a bathroom? More times than I would like to admit. And you know what I ended up doing? Literally looking to the side and pretending like I bent down to grab something off the floor and throwing up. Or I'll never forget prom. I went with like the hotter, cooler, richer, hot guy. Shout out Nate. And him and his older brother, who was so fucking cool and like had just gone back from Germany and was also so hot. They let everyone after prom go to their cabin. And remember, his brother was like, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. As long as you don't get shit-faced and throw up and fuck up my parents' cabin. You know what I decided to do is just be mingling amongst all the cool older folk and then sit down by the beer pong table and vomit just kind of into my shirt as if there was like a bib. Like, you know those bibs that they put on babies that are plastic and catches all their whatever? That was me with no bib. And I just sat there and I kept doing it. And for some reason, and I thought no one would notice. And I will never forget Megan. I almost said her last name. We don't need to say her last name. Megan, who's like now married and lives with her husband, happily married with like 2 kids. She's really close with Allie. She looked over and she was like, did you just throw up? And I ignored her. And then she was like, no, Sofia, you just threw up. Like, we need to get you to a bathroom. And I still tried to ignore her. And then then people started to really notice. And then I stood up. I was really embarrassed. I was really ashamed. To your fucking voicemail, Slew. The fact that I know, because I know myself, I definitely was holding a red Solo cup during the throw up and before and an hour before and was pre-gaming probably 7 hours before. Imagine if I would have just thrown up into that red Solo cup. Like, oh my God. I wouldn't have spent months feeling so embarrassed and so shameful. I would have still been in with the popular crew. Nate would still be my boyfriend, probably my husband. And life would just be what it was supposed to be if I would have just threw up in the cup. This is genius. If you ever feel the need to puke, it doesn't even need to be your glass. Grab the nearest glass. Grab a vase. Grab a votive. Grab a candle holder. Grab an ashtray. just grab something and puke in there. And I love how you just like set it down and like went about your merry way. I probably would do something like that, even though I don't want to admit it, you know, if it's like a crazy bar, but you guys are just fucking smart. Sloots. And you know what? You are charismatic and you are hot. And with or without a boob job, with or without the fiance, with or without the beach, you guys are my whole life and my whole world. And I love you so much. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.